evening and welcome. What a fantastic day it's been. It's been a win for Indian democracy, not just for the state of Karnataka. But if you look at what's happened in Karnataka, the Congress party winning the elections with the largest seat share and the largest vote percentage in more than 35 years. So that is an absolutely resounding performance by the Congress. What exactly are the implications of this? Over the next couple of hours, the three of us are going to be bringing you the top newsmakers with a deep analysis of what this is all about.
That's right, an emphatic win for the Congress, not one that they've seen since 1989, as Vishnu pointed out. But now the big question really, Vishnu, is who's going to be Chief Minister of that state. And all that action over the next 10 odd hours, I think, is going to play out big time in Bengaluru, Ankit.
That's right. The CLP meeting was supposed to happen today. Now it's been postponed till 5 p.m. tomorrow. But once again, a show of unity as far as the Congress party is concerned. All their senior leaders are in the lead. Of course, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, and sitting on each side of him was Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar, the two contenders for the top job as far as the Congress party is concerned in the state of Karnataka. It's been an exciting, a hard-fought battle as far as the election goes. This picture, the Congress once again trying to put its best foot forward, optics being played to the maximum as far as the Congress party is concerned. But behind those optics, those handshakes, hectic parleys, I'm sure, would be on to decide who gets the top job.
That's right. Well, those pictures that you see of unity, one hopes that it will last after the Congress Legislature Party meeting as well. And of course, in the next 5 years to come, no matter who becomes Chief Minister. Let's look at those numbers, and that's what makes this an enormous victory. 137 seats for the Congress, up 57 from its 2018 tally. 65 seats for the BJP, down 39 from its 2018 tally. 19 seats for the JDS, down 18 seats from the 37 that it had in 2018. Perhaps the big loser today is Deva Gowda and HD Kumaraswamy in the old Mysore region. Those are the big numbers that defined the day today as it evolved from early morning 8 o'clock onwards to about 1 o'clock when it was going even Steven, and then it all became in Congress's favor. Let's also take a look at the vote shares that each of the parties got. The Congress there with a vote share of 44%. That's Congress Plus, which also includes the one seat, Melkote seat, where the Congress was supporting a candidate. So Congress, 44% vote share, that's a plus 5% vote share. The BJP at 36%, not losing, not gaining, but may have lost in some areas, gained in the others, and changed their spread. JDS, of course, losing 5% vote share, down to 13% in these elections. That's possibly the lowest that the JDS had in terms of vote shares in the last 2 decades in an assembly election. Let's also look at the key VIPs who won, and more importantly, the ones who lost. Let's start with Govind Kajrol, who is the SC face of the BJP. He loses at Mudhol. CM Faiz, CM Ibrahim's son in Homnabad, he is lost. Well, you got Ramesh Jarkioli there, one who shifted in. He has won from the Congress to the BJP, and he's won there from Gokak. Nagendra Nayak has lost from Bhatkal in Karnataka, that you have senior advocate of the Karnataka High Court who was, then you have Basavaraj Bommai, who's won in Shigaon. You've got Ashwath Narayan in Bangalore, Malleshwaram, he wins, the former Deputy Chief Minister. C.T. Ravi, one of the big losers for the BJP today in Chikmagalur in Karnataka. He's lost the election there. Muniappa as the next one on your screens. K.H. Muniappa, former Union Minister, he wins from Devanahalli. Ramanath Reddy, who's also Bangalore City, he is one in the Janardhan Reddy wins in Gangavati, that's in Hyderabad, Karnataka. And then you have, who's next? B.Y. Vijayendra, obviously Shikaripura expected to win. He's won the elections there at Shikaripura as well. So a lot of interesting winners and some interesting losers as well, including somebody like Jagdish Shettar, who's lost in the Hubli-Dharwad Central seat. Well, let's listen to, let's also go across to Dinesh Gundu Rao, who's won in Bangalore from with a very slender margin. Dinesh, your first reactions on a narrow victory for you?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect it, for it to be so close. So, I mean, this is my sixth election and won 5 in a row, and this was the closest I've ever got. So it was unexpected for me. But I think also it's a learning curve that, where things may have gone wrong. And I will learn from this result. But in a way, I'm happy that I won, and I'm more happy that the Congress has won in Karnataka, and we can form a stable government and run the government for 5 years, and we should try and give a good government.
You've been working president of the Congress party. Who do you think is going to become chief minister, Dinesh? I'm sure you have your inside track.
No, I don't have any inside track. Basically, I think, our All India Congress President Kharge ji is here in Karnataka. And like you said, they've all met together. I'm sure that things will go smooth. And under his leadership, of course, Rahul ji and Priyanka ji and everyone, I'm sure that things will be resolved. We've been working together for the last many years without, whatever may be in each one's individual ambitions. But our ultimate aim was to see that the Congress wins and the Congress comes to power in Karnataka for the sake of democracy, for the sake of the survival of democracy. And we realize Karnataka is one of the game-changing elections, and Congress really needs this win. And I think all have worked together. And I think post the results too, you will see that we will behave in a very mature manner and things will be sorted out, spoken, discussed and resolved. I do not see any complications.
Right. And when are you having your Congress Legislature Party meeting? Tomorrow morning, we're told.
Hello? Yeah?
Your Congress Legislature Party meeting.
Yeah, that will be tomorrow. So I think we will discuss all these issues. I think before the Legislature Party meeting happens, I feel that many of the issues will be discussed. And we should, I don't want, or we don't want the Congress to be seen as, taking time or dilly-dallying. And because the people have given us such a huge mandate, and we have to respect that. And they're hoping that Congress delivers on so many fronts. So I think we need to get down to business and perform well. And that sense of responsibility is there on every leader today. That Congress should do well in Karnataka, and it should also represent what the Congress can do to the entire country.
Well, I don't expect you to answer this question, but who's your vote for in that CLP meeting? Who's it going to be? Who's going to be your choice for the top job?
No, I mean, see, Siddaramaiah ji is one of the most popular leaders, and he's been working tirelessly. D.K. Shivakumar, our president, he's been working tirelessly. So, both of them have given, they work together and they've given us, this result. So ultimately, I think let the High Command decide, and all of our MLAs also will all sit together and give our opinions. And I think it should go smoothly. But I would not want to mention who my choice is on national television. So I'll just leave it at that.
No, please do, sir. It would be terribly interesting if you did.
But Dinesh,
I'm sure you understand the intricacies.
Dinesh, but tell us, has the talk of who's going to get what portfolio also started amongst all you MLAs and former ministers? You're all veteran congressmen. You know how the party dynamics works after victory and how it works before an election result is announced.
No, I feel the first thing will be to decide who's going to be the CLP leader, who naturally will become the chief minister. So that thing, once that is decided, the expansion of the ministry and all that will take place. So I don't think any such issue has been discussed so far. And even if it's been discussed, I'm not aware of it. But I think that will only happen once we finish with the CLP meeting and elect our CLP leader. Subsequently, those decisions will be made and those issues will be discussed.
Right. Thanks so much, Dinesh, for joining us here. Dinesh, of course, Vishnu had a very slender win today. I mean, must have had a lot of nervous moments through the day as the numbers were playing out.
Absolutely. We're going to take a look right now and move on to the next set of graphics. And this is just to give our viewers an idea of some of the key factors. So what we're looking at now is the Muslim vote in the state. So seats with a 25% Muslim population. It's 10 to the Congress. As you might expect, the Congress would be ahead of the BJP, and 7 to the BJP. So 17 seats in total. Remember, these are seats with a 25% Muslim population. If we take a look at, and this is important, the next set of graphics looks at rural urban. And this is where the BJP has actually lost out considerably. Let's have the rural statistics out first if we can. In rural seats, this is where some would suggest, and we'll discuss this with our panelists in a while, this is where the Congress has taken these elections. Those 62 leads and results right now, let's consider them results by and large, versus the BJP's 21. It just goes to show that the Congress's arguments or their points on employment generation, these were points which appear to have appealed to the rural voter, the JDS at 13. So this is where the Congress really gained. If we take a look at the urban breakup, this is where the BJP would have hoped to have done well. And as you can see that their performance has been considerably better than what their performance was in rural areas. They are one shorter than the Congress. So by itself, 25 may not necessarily be terribly bad, but considering the fact that the Congress has made a mark in urban areas as well, another area that the BJP was really looking to make a mark, you really have to wonder about how things fell short for the BJP here. Many thought that they would do well. Let's take a look now at the Bengaluru graphics as well, and this is just a snapshot of this very important the city of Bengaluru itself. The Congress underneath or beneath the BJP, and that's been a trend that we've seen throughout the day. In fact, the BJP was considerably ahead of the Congress through the day, but over a period of time, it's the Congress. We'll discuss the dynamics of Bengaluru. I mean, it's fascinating. What is it? Because the BJP has been pushing infrastructure. Bengaluru is starved of infrastructure. Was that a factor? Was that reasoning that actually appealed to voters, in particularly professionals in the city of Bengaluru?
All right, let's also at this moment introduce our guests in the studio for further analysis. We'll keep going back to these important data points which are coming in. It's interesting and fascinating to see how these victories are made, because they are never about just one or two factors. It's a combination of things that come together for a victory or a defeat for any political party. Let me very quickly introduce our guest in the studio first. We have Professor Chandan Gaura. With us, been a sport since morning, and looking as fresh, absolutely. Maya Sharma, senior colleague, former colleague, senior journalist, political analyst, is also with us. Sanjay Kumar, psephologist and professor CSDS, with us to give us the insight. Sugata Srinivas Raju, senior journalist, with us here. Geeta Bhatt, political analyst. We also have Dr. Manisha Priyam, political analyst, with us. And outside, Aishwarya Mahadev, Congress spokesperson, is also joining us at this moment. Anand Gurumurthy of the Bharatiya Janata Party and Imran Pasha of the JDS is also with us. Amitabh Tiwari also joining us in the studio at this moment. I welcome you all. Thank you. And I want to start by asking you, Mr. Pasha, while the Congress and the BJP are the talk of the town, the JDS at this moment, sir, how are things placed for your party? Is this the worst case scenario playing out for your party at this moment?
Thank you for giving an opportunity to your panel. So before answering your question, I would like to quote a famous quote from Henry Ford: "Failure is the opportunity to begin again more intelligently." So there are so many backlogs on which we need to work upon, and we have been noticed all those things, and we accept this whatever the result people of Karnataka has given the mandate, and we hope for the better future of this Karnataka. After all the political parties will be formed to serve the people. They are not the owner of the kind of government authority. They are the servant of the people. So I would like to congratulate the Congress party first of all, and hope whatever the promises what they have made during their election campaign, they will fulfill those promises. And there is a lot of homework for the JDS party. Being a regional party, we hope for the best result this time. But everything is depend after all, whatever the people decide, we have to go ahead for their decisions. And we will work and will come back more strong next time.
Right, you'll come back more strongly, you say. Let me open this question that Ankit has asked to you, to our panel as well, because I think the big question of the day, the one very big question of the day is the future of the Janata Dal Secular. Nikhil Kumaraswamy himself, having lost in Ramnagara. Let me start with you, Chandan Gowda. What does this mean for the future of the JDS? Below 20 mark, 19 seats, down to 13% vote share, something that the JDS often gets in a parliamentary election, is all that it's got in a state election. What does this mean for the regional force in Karnataka?
It's psychologically defeating to see a figure like that, but there are two possible routes. One, they hang on, bide their time into the next election until an anti-incumbency may possibly kick in, because they still are number 2 in that region. Congress is number 1, sometimes BJP, but there are 2. And I think they will try to see if they can go back to where they were last year, mid-30s. The other thing is they move to the NDA space, which will have a bearing on the next elections and will have a bearing on the assembly election as well. But I hope the first one is what we will see happen.
Okay, we've got Aishwarya Mahadev of the Congress and Anand Gurumurthy of the BJP with us at this stage. Mr. Gurumurthy, in fact, let me come to you first. My question is this: Would you say that it's the Congress's performance in rural areas, and let's try and see if we can get that rural statistic up, where they've got what, 61 or 62 seats most likely, as opposed to the BJP, which is what, about 21 odd seats. That has essentially defined the election. That your performance in urban areas hasn't been bad per se. You just won under the Congress, but it's rural seats 62 to 21, which appears to have defeated you. Would you say that this is where you fell short, for whatever the reasons were?
See, basically, if you see the vote share, we have not diminished.
Right,
vote
sure,
share is the same of BJP, but Congress has plucked the vote share of JDS in the rural areas where it is, leading. Of course, some seats, the differences will be there. Maybe they have taken something from us, or we have taken something from them. But most of the places where you see it, they have taken the vote share from rural areas. Now, the first thing is they gave a certain beneficiary schemes, which were, kind of a dream come true, and they tried to tell that they are going to execute it, which according to us, mathematically and economically, it is not possible, because it will make the state bankrupt. But yes, first of all, they sold that idea and they tried to do that. Now they have to work on that and make it happen. Okay, so that is one thing which the BJP has started demanding, and I'm sure all the journalists will start demanding this, because something promised has to be given, because Aam Aadmi Party, which had promised, is now struggling with the court, writing them off,
So
and all that has happened.
How they
okay, so that is one point. The second point is the Congress plays a very divisive politics. They try to, go on WhatsApp groups and say, okay, the Vakriga will be the next
Anand, the elections are over. We'll bring up the divisive politics of the Congress, alleged divisive politics for the next set of elections. But Aishwarya, would you like to respond to that one key point he said, where he said that if you implement the promises which you've made to rural voters, Karnataka might potentially go bankrupt? That's an important question.
Vishnu, good evening. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the entire electorate of Karnataka for giving us such a decisive win. I think it's a decisive win for Karnataka and all Kannadigas around more than anybody else. And Vishnu, if you look at the economics of it, if you look at the finances of all of this, there are two things. One, the Congress party has emphatically stated that in the first cabinet meeting, we're going to bring these 5 promises into into action. And the second thing is, if you look at the economics of it, a lot of it is still far more financially prudent as opposed to some of the schemes that the BJP may or may not have implemented, right? Because the sad reality in India today is that when the BJP offers something, it is called social welfare or development and social justice. But while the Congress does it, it's called a freebie. But we believe that these moves are something that is going to help the people of Karnataka. We believe it's what has given us a decisive mandate. And we are extremely positive about the fact that implementation of this is also going to kickstart the economy, because you're handing money and a certain amount of economic freedom to the people of the state that really, really need it.
Right.
It's not the 1%, 2% that we're catering to. It is the masses of the state that we cater to. It is for the majority of the state that has suffered under the BJP government that we want to help in this case.
And to be honest, if you put the Karnataka map at this moment, it looks evenly spread as far as the victories of the Congress party are concerned. Maya, if I may bring you in, one interesting, and when Veera was talking about the important candidates, those who have won and lost, C.T. Ravi of the Bharatiya Janata Party, important figure as far as the BJP scheme of things and the new leadership of the Bharatiya Janata Party in the state is concerned. And losing from a constituency like Chikmagalur, which more or less people consider as the laboratory, the Hindutva laboratory of the Bharatiya Janata Party, what does that signify for the Bharatiya Janata Party going forward in their messaging and how they are looking forward in Karnataka?
Yes, C.T. Ravi is definitely a very, very Hindutva kind of leader in what he has said, in what he has done in Chikmagaluru. There's also been that whole controversy over the Dattapita there, an ancient Sufi shrine, which is it Hindu, is it Muslim? That debate has been going on, and he also managed to make that a huge issue, a huge, very sensitive communal issue in that area. He was definitely one of the more strident pro-Hindutva voices in the BJP in Karnataka, and his defeat, I think, reflects perhaps a turning away from that Hindutva narrative. We did, of course, wonder whether the potential banning of the Bajrang Dal would actually impact the performance of the Congress, because, of course, it led to all that whole Jai Bajrang Bali slogans and the whole thing. But that, perhaps that has been rejected. Perhaps that did happen, had to get more Muslim votes in. I think it shows that what people have been talking about, that the people of Karnataka are not really going the Hindutva way.
I think this is the Lingayat factors work there.
That's also true. In some of those constituencies, it's sort of worked in that bit. You're right. That Lingayat factor in for instance, Somalna.
In Chikmagalur, it's C.T. Ravi's right-hand man came out and contested against him. He was Lingayat. The Lingayats shifted over to the Congress. So the Kurubas are the next biggest community there with Sidramaya. That's worked.
Yeah. But the larger takeaway, I mean, while I think it's still difficult to just categorically say that Hindutva may not come up in, because these are personalities who rose from the Baba Budangari movement, C.T. Ravi and this one. From the larger takeaway part of it, Sugata, in terms of when you see these results, what is the one large takeaway that you see for Karnataka moving forward? Is there something that we need to look differently about the state when we analyze it or when we try to predict it? Is there something that this lesson, this verdict is teaching us?
No, Veera, I mean, I'm really, there's one fascinating aspect about Congress's victory today, which is that it's the most inclusive victory and the most representational victory. Look at the STs, they've gone with the Congress. Look at the SCs, they've gone with the Congress. Look at the Muslims, they've gone with the Congress. Look at the rural voters, look at the urban voters, and also Lingayats and Okkaligas. So I think this Congress has to celebrate it for a very different reason other than the Bharat Jodo Yatra, which has had very little impact. So it's the most representational and inclusive victory for the Congress, which is, as Vishnu in his opening remarks said, it's a democratic India is celebrating. I think that's the big takeaway that I sort of get from this results. The second thing is, Ankit focused on Chikmagalur, but my very big question about the BJP will be, who is their Dalit face? Everybody seems to have lost.
Yes,
who is their ST face? Everybody seems to have lost. And who is going to be the leader of opposition? That's a huge question.
Geeta, but if you want, if I may bring you in on that, for the Bharatiya Janata Party, it's just not about the narrative. There was a very important, with Lingayats, a very important voting segment that the BJP used to command. That seems to be now slipping, dividing, though they are gaining a little bit as far as the Vocaligas are concerned. Is it time for the BJP to go back to the drawing board and answer the questions that Sugata is pointing out right now? How do you construct a more cohesive social sort of an engineering that you don't face a similar thing going forward in 2024 and thereafter?
Well, see, first of all, I think that has already been initiated in a way, because more than 70 new faces have been introduced, the tickets have been given in this election. And there are all new faces, some of them young, dynamic people who over a period of time, our question of leadership is being, put forward. Over a period of time, these, new faces who have come in this election, they will be nurtured as leaders, in the coming time. And also, as far as this Hindutva question is being, put forward. I think we need to see that this is ideologically, this is something which it is not that the people they do not identify themselves with this. There were other issues, which were compelling, and they somehow took over the Hindutva issue. But considering that this people do not have a concern over it, I mean, we do remember that how, in the KG Halli and HD Halli, how there were a police station which was burnt, and there were many such issues over, some remark of some Congress MLA's relative had made a remark, and because of that, more than 2,000 people, they had gathered and a police station was burnt. So these are issues which they cannot be sidelined, But yes, and in this election, there were some other issues which they dominated over the issue of Hindutva.
One small
go
point,
ahead.
Vishnu. Gitaji mentioned about new faces having been introduced and they'll take the party forward. Statistically, 75 new faces were introduced, only 11 have won. Only 11. Only
11 is a big number.
Places where they didn't have sitting MLAs, in weak places.
They lost last time, mostly of the seats.
I understand this thing. Why do you introduce new faces?
No, 75 includes the change of tickets to sitting MLAs.
You introduce new faces because it's been a model that's been tested in Gujarat. The anti-incumbency at the local level, at the constituency level is something that you buck over. Now, in elections, the proof is in the winning. How much of the anti-incumbency locally were you able to buck over by introducing these new faces? Number one. Number two, even the new faces like C.T. Ravi, fine that it was a Lingayat and the Kurubas that got together, but C.T. Ravi was the face of the Hindutva-led campaign in the old Mysuru region, an important Gowda leader. The BJP promised that they would have brand new, sparkling Gowda leadership that they would give to the old Mysuru region. Of that, I don't know how many have won. I mean, I have tracked quite a few. I don't know all the others.
No,
not too many of them have won.
Okay, I just wanted to, Manisha, I just wanted to go across and bring our viewers that visual spread. Let's have that up in full frame if we can. On the left is 2018. As you can see, the BJP so much more dominant. You can see saffron across the state over there, the Congress in pockets, the JDS also in far larger pockets. But if you look at the right, I think visually the most striking aspect is the JDS, the Greens have really disappeared. And of course we've seen...
that area.
Yeah, that's right. In South...
in the old Mysore region where their bastion is, what you see is an entire green belt there. That's
gone.
Turned into a blue belt.
And, and blue all across. But also very interestingly, if you look at the west of Karnataka, and you can see, compare 2018 and 2023, again in the west you can see that the BJP is quite dominant in 2018. That is very much an area where they've done well. But here in 2023, the BJP has certainly won seats, but you can see the Congress winning a lot more. Amitabh, could you just tell us about the significance of the Congress getting into a part of the Hindutva heartland, as it were, in western and coastal Karnataka?
So I think the orange part in the center largely is central and coastal Karnataka. Correct. Which BJP had done well. This time the Hindutva card seems to have not played that well in coastal Karnataka, because one of the reasons could be that BJP had maxed out there, winning 19 out of 21 seats. But the greater thing is on the Bombay Karnataka region. If you see. The Bombay Karnataka region is a Lingayat belt where the BJP is losing. So BJP is losing Bombay Karnataka. Hyderabad, they had already lost last time to Congress, which was one of the strong areas. And they have also lost in central Karnataka. Bengaluru, they are leading, but they are leading just by a few seats.
They're retaining what they got last
time. Yeah,
they
are largely retaining what they got.
Status quo.
Yeah, so it's like status quo. So they
won by 250.
Let's at this moment also just bring out, before I go to Professor Sanjay Kumar, at this moment to understand, let's just put one set of data also out, and that will be interesting to have that conversation. Around that, we've been talking about all the various, regions as well, the Bellwether seats, how they have gone and how they have worked as far as this entire election is concerned. Let's very quickly first talk about the Bangalore region. So 32 seats, 28 urban, 4 rural, 17 for the Congress. So if you compare it to 2018, it's the same number of seats that the Congress have been able to win. The BJP, where the Prime Minister focused a lot of his energies, +4 for the BJP and 4- for the JDS. So the BJP has won on the cost of the JDS here. Let's just move on to the other regions as well, just to give you a sense of how BJP is winning or the Congress has won in the various regions. Kalyan Karnataka region as well. Now, take a look at how this has placed. Now, the Congress party is +5 here. So it's not like a great difference. The 26 for the Congress here, 10 for the BJP. So they are -5 from 2018. JDS at 3, -1. Others have won. That's +1, which has gone to the others. Let's just go to Kittur, Karnataka very, very quickly. And in this area, this is where the Congress has gained significant number of seats. From Congress 32, gaining 60 seats, 50% more seats than they won in 2018. The BJP 15, down 14, and JDS also down 1 seat. South Karnataka, let's very quickly put that out as well in the regions. The Congress here also dominating, 48 plus 28 seats. BJP dropping 13 seats at 13 at this moment. And this is where the JDS has had the maximum hit. 15 seats down, 9 JDS has won. And very quickly, also just turn it around in the West Karnataka region as well, to give our viewers a sense. This is the coastal area where the BJP has dropped 9 seats. They are at 17. Congress up 8 seats at 14 and JDS at 1. Largely, at this moment, and Professor Kumar, if I can very quickly bring you in, Karnataka is also going the bipolar way. Is it safe to say, with the way JDS has been squeezed out, Karnataka now is largely a battle between the Congress and the BJP going forward from here?
If we look at this election, it seems that it was a bipolar contest, because if you look at the vote percentages polled by these two parties, BJP has polled 36% vote and Congress has got roughly about 43. So if you club the votes of the two parties, they are taking a very large chunk of the vote. And JDS is...
I'm just interrupting you now because we've got Veerappa Moily who joins us at this stage, and I believe he's in a huge hurry and has to go. Mr. Moily, thanks very much for being with us. A fairly resounding performance of the Congress party. We were going through all of these data points, and I think there are 2 data points which really strike. First, the rural voter, where the Congress party has done really well. And secondly, making inroads into areas in coastal Karnataka where the BJP has had its stronghold. So would you say that these are a couple of the important regions where the Congress has done well?
To be very frank with you, traditionally these areas belong to Congress party. In my memory, last 55 years in the Congress party, where I have played a very crucial and major role in selection of candidates and also for getting success. We used to get, for example, Dakshin Kannada and Udupi district put together. We used to take 100% seats, 15 out of 15 seats. Not once. I think it happened more than 4 or 5 times.
Sure.
So it is question of strategy. That if you strategize properly, Congress will get back these areas also.
Okay.
And this time, the North Canada area, which is also again a coastal belt, that we strategized well, and that is how we got more seats.
Mr. Moily, I must ask you, looking at the larger picture now, I think it's fair to say that on the basis of these elections, when 2024 comes, you will have a real fight in Karnataka. Perhaps you would be favored to win Karnataka in terms of the number of seats at the general election level. But do you believe that Karnataka alone has given the Congress an impetus looking ahead at 2024 beyond Karnataka as well?
Yeah, it has definitely, these days, of course, we used to get the criticism from all quarters that, Congress is sinking. This has gone into the psyche of the congressmen because it has demoralized them all over the country. I'm referring to all over the country. And Congress can definitely make a comeback, not only in Karnataka, in many other states where we are going to have elections, either in Rajasthan, of course, we will get back, Madhya Pradesh.
That, of course, is an entirely different story, sir.
Yeah.
So, the chief ministerial candidate, and I'm sure, Mr. Moily, you would have known that I was going to ask you that. I didn't ask you that as the first question. I'm asking you as third. I'm being nice to you, sir. So, give me a direct answer. Who is going to be the chief minister of Karnataka?
You know very well. Even though I know it very well.
Oh,
but
you do?
I can't say that because.
All right. So, it's decided, sir?
Involved in the national Congress.
I expect that, but
for the CLP.
has it been decided? Can you confirm to us that the chief ministerial candidate for the Congress in Karnataka has been decided, yes or no?
No, it has not been decided.
But sir, you just said that you know.
I know because I know the mood of the people, you know. I also know what is going to happen. You know, this much if I don't know.
So, sir, you know the mood of the people, you know what you know, and yet it has not been officially decided. Sir, which one of these three is correct, sir?
No, it is not, because there is a process involved. Tomorrow they have convened the meeting of the CLP. Suppose a leader like me start telling that, he will be the leader, then
okay, I understand, and I will only probe you for one or two more questions on this. Would it be fair for us to report that a decision has been made?
No, it is not fair. That, decision has not been made. It is only a conjecture that people do make.
So, Mr. Moily, you've been a Congress troubleshooter many times. You've been the man who's been observer for several Congress legislature party meetings. Let me ask you this directly. Is Mr. Kharge still a candidate for chief ministership, or you don't think so? Can you rule that out at least? Or
I don't think so.
You don't think?
Can I then ask you a subsequent question?
It's an important point he's making.
Yeah,
he's saying
true.
Kharge is not a candidate for chief minister.
So, can I just ask you, sir, a subsequent question on that? So, then is the chief ministership only going to be decided between Mrs. Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar, or can there be a dark horse as well?
There can be a dark horse, but the prominent faces are.
So, Mr. Moily, you may as well tell us now, sir. You've given us so many hints now. Why stop there, sir? But look, Mr. Moily, it is a resounding win for the Congress party. Just one more point. I think it was Priyanka Gandhi Vadra who tweeted, or the Congress party perhaps tweeted, that in all of the areas where the Bharat Jodo Yatra went through Karnataka, 75% or more of those seats you've actually won. So my question is this: is that model, Bharat Jodo, something you will now extend ahead of 2024 once again?
I think so, because the Bharat Jodo Yatra, I think not 75, it is 90%.
Okay.
Wherever Ravi has gone in the Bharat Jodo, we are on those belts. Hyderabad, Karnataka, then about the old Mysore area. He had intensively toured. He has not gone to this Mangalore, Udupi coastal line. And here it is 90%. I think 95% is a success.
All right. Well, Mr. Moily, thank you very much for sharing all of those information points. Hopefully, this entire transition process will be peaceful, but we do need to take a short break at this stage. Once again, congratulations, and hopefully this means 5 years of stability for people in Karnataka. We'll take that short break and come back with more.
And the question, and the winner has been answered by Karnataka, but the question, who is the chief minister, who's going to be the chief minister of Karnataka, that the Congress party at this moment is pondering about. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. is the CLP meeting. Interesting that Mr. Moily, just before going into the break, he said it has already been decided, then came down and said at least Mr. Kharge is not there in that race. Important how things play out as far as the Congress party is concerned, Veera. Now all eyes would be on the CM chair.
That's right, all eyes on the CM chair. I think what Mr. Moily meant is that he doesn't think so. He said he got the pulse of the people, and perhaps with his experience, he was just trying to indicate what was there. But I think, apart from that CM question, which I think we'll get an answer only tomorrow evening, or after the CLP meeting is over, I think the bigger question for today, and perhaps one for the BJP, is who is responsible for what the party's performance today, because there were two factions in the BJP. One was the central leadership, which was dictating shots, and the other was the state leadership. So Manisha Priyam, my question to you is really this simple. Who in the BJP should take the blame for the performance the party has had today?
I know I've been given this question. I have a very clear answer. I'm going to give the answer first and not hedge around even one bit about this. So certainly as far as the anti-incumbency of the government is concerned, it is the outgoing Chief Minister, Basavaraj Bommai, who's to be blamed for that. For the party and organizational affairs and the ticket distribution, from what I've gleaned through the newspapers, I learned that it is Mr. B.L. Santosh. Now, so these are the two names. Now, I would give the credit to the Prime Minister saying that towards the end, that campaign, whoever says whatever, it energized the BJP campaign. The vote share in the old Mysuru region has increased, even if seats have not been won. The JDS has been disseminated. Now, for having answered that hard question, I'm going to ask for one little, liberty, and which is to say that the real losers today are not the BJP, but the JDS. And I think if we ask the question, who takes the blame for what has happened to the JDS? I think we won't be able to find names. We will name family disputes. We may name who led the party. Devgowda came out at 90 and campaigned. I believe, when I've gathered, that he went through a dialysis every day almost and still went out and campaigned. So I think there are difficult questions to be asked, especially from those who've just not lost but even been disseminated in their own
I get the JDS question, and it's an important one. Sanjay Kumar, I want to take the BJP question to you. Your opinion polls, you've gone through the data. What do you think was the crucial factor, the factor that resulted in the BJP's dismal performance today? And who's to take the blame for it?
Who is to be blamed for this defeat of the BJP? I would also agree with what Manisha has already said. It is the poor rating of the Chief Minister. We did the survey. We got in the survey, the ratings of the sitting Chief Minister was extremely poor. And I have never seen such bad rating of a sitting Chief Minister. So CM turned out to be a liability for the party, and connected to that was the charges of corruption. So I think this turned out to be to create a narrative against the BJP in the entire state, that this is a government which is a bad government being run badly by a chief minister who is not capable of running the government, corruption. So all this centered around the personality called the Chief Minister Bommai. So I think the blame of the BJP's defeat, in my opinion, goes to Bommai. And I also cited the data because his ratings were very bad when we did the pre-poll survey.
Maya, may I bring you in on this only? Poor Bommai is being blamed for this defeat at this moment. The man who got a lot of these issues as legacy as well, and he came out at a time when it was a very difficult time for the Bharatiya Janata Party with a tarry figure like Yediyurappa. The way he was taken out of the equation, is it fair in that sense to put the entire blame on Mr. Bommai, because there has been factionalism? The BJP has lost its core vote as well. Should the party go back, thinking about how they treated Mr. Yediyurappa and the impact it has had as far as the Lingayats are concerned?
Well, Basavaraj Bommai, of course, was brought in as a Lingayat replacement for the outgoing Lingayat Chief Minister, B.S. Yediyurappa. Was his performance as expected? Well, I think also with his background, Basavaraj Bommai, the son of S.R. Bommai, coming from that JDS background, in some of his statements, he became so pro-Hindutva, if I could say that. It may not have sat comfortably with who he was internally, is sometimes the feeling I get, that he was more right-wing, maybe more, well, even when he talked about the hijab, when he talked about different issues, when he talked about communal harmony, when he talked about the cow slaughter, different things, I felt he was doing what was expected of him and not what necessarily he believed in. And with that dissonance, I think a low performance comes
Maya, what about Yediyurappa? What about Yediyurappa, Sugata? What role does he have to play in what's happening?
Veera, I think we tend to forget that in 2019 July, when the transition happened, 2021, sorry, when the transition happened from Yediyurappa to Bommai, can you please recall what the narrative was about Yediyurappa at that time? It was exactly the same. Very corrupt, family intervention, making a lot of money. You should have seen the local channels play up the whole thing. So, we tend to now retrospectively say that he was better and this fellow, this fellow was also picked by a faction of the central leadership and with the consent of Yediyurappa. And Yediyurappa was already 80. You know, I mean, the BJP hardly had any choice. So they had to pick somebody, they picked this man. And this man did horribly. You know, I mean, horrible is probably not the phrase. You know, you have to probably look at most civilized kind of phrases to.
I just wanted to go across
caveat, Sugata, is Bumma was not free to be whoever he was. He had to play the RSS lobby as well as
without a mandate. If
Why
somebody
is the
is picked
RSS
like that
lobby
without
and
a
not a
mandate.
name?
But he also carried the legacy of anti-incumbency of the Yediyurappa government.
Yeah.
So if the government was unpopular, it was not as if Yediyurappa's government was.
No, he was brought in as a corrective. And did he correct anything? No. See, he was for the longest period kept as a night watchman. They thought they will change him after a point of time. That did not happen.
What
And there have
stopped the
been
BJP
examples
from a
of BJP where they
full-fledged?
have done this experiment and it has worked. It has worked in Uttarakhand with Mr. Dhami.
Yeah.
It worked in Gujarat as well
precisely,
with Mr. Bhupendra Patel as well. It just didn't work in Karnataka.
So am I right in saying that?
Can I just ask
am I
Geeta
right
a
in
quick
saying?
question?
Sorry,
Half a second. Geeta, what I wanted to actually ask you, Geeta ji, was if you look at the role or the performance of the Prime Minister, it just goes to show that one star campaigner in the context of Karnataka was not enough for the BJP. They needed state leaders. But would you say that it was Modi who actually largely brought the BJP to where they were, particularly in the last 15 days when he somewhat changed the narrative, came out with the more dominant Hindutva narrative? Did that have an impact at all?
Well, Vishnuji, I think Prime Minister, with his popularity, every state election, including Karnataka, every time when he goes on a campaign trail, he definitely, even energizing the party workers and also putting forth the various points, whether it is with respect to the electoral agenda or whether it is with respect to the ideology, he puts forth and people accept that. So that is something which is always, it is always a point that the Prime Minister, he has always made his impression on the voters wherever he has gone in whichever election, including that of Karnataka.
Right, but also is this a lesson, Amitabh, quickly, and it's important, while we talk about the Prime Minister and his campaign there, is this also a lesson that in a southern state you cannot run a campaign out of Delhi? It has to be run out of Bangalore, and you need those regional strong faces, especially in a state like Karnataka. Without that, it cannot be in an assembly election. I'm talking in an assembly election. Is it, it's not going to work simply.
So I would say in any state assembly election where BJP is the incumbent, this sort of strategy does not work. The strong lead, if the leader is not strong, Modi can come in the last moment, do some heavy lifting, but cannot cross it. So only 7% of the people or voters voted in the name of PM Modi in Karnataka. But 19% of BJP voters have voted in the name of PM Modi. So he has done some heavy lifting in the end, but was not able to negate the anti-incumbency of the current government.
No, this has to be said.
Yeah.
Yediyurappa did not do Hindutva talk. And Bommai comes and starts doing all of that, the textbook revisions, the hijab, the azan, the meat, all of that happens after Bommai steps in. And he is there because he allows for all that politics to happen. Yediyurappa was assertive.
Absolutely.
He didn't let that lobby.
I think
then what is the name of
then
it?
after 10
incumbency,
months, he drops it like a hot potato and he does not want to talk about it.
So also because that is something when every time Mr. Yediyurappa was asked this question, he said these are non-issues. It is about the way the government works and what we bring to the people. That's also at this moment is also being seen as a shift as far as the BJP's thought process, ideological bent, and the way they want to move forward in Karnataka is concerned. Very quickly, Aishwarya Mahadev, I want to come to you. You are the winner today, though we were talking about a lot as far as the who to blame. Who does the Congress party? Because every time the Congress loses an election, BJP has more than 2 cents to give on who the Congress should be holding responsible for their defeat. What, as a winner today, who do you think in the BJP did not work? What did not work for the Bharatiya Janata Party? Any pearls of wisdom for your competitors?
Ankit, I think the Congress has always been very gracious and very magnanimous that we will not pin blame on another party's personnel or office bearers or any of their leaders. We believe that this was the mandate of the people. We accept it. We're very, very happy. We're very excited. It's also a deep sense of responsibility that we have to serve the people of Karnataka that have suffered a lot. But I am not going to apportion blame to anybody. I think everybody tried to salvage what was a sinking ship in Karnataka, whether it's Mr. Yediyurappa, whether it's Mr. Bommai, because you also forget what Mr. Bommai inherited when he came to power. Some of you have also mentioned it. I just believe that this is a mandate that is pro-people, that is pro-issues, that is pro-progress, because we basically want to have the opportunity to serve the people of Karnataka, which has not happened for the past couple of years. And I'm not at this moment going to apportion blame or sit and point fingers at anybody. I think the IT cell chief of the BJP has done enough of that all through the day. So I will give that.
All right, Aishwarya, that's terribly gracious of you. We will leave it at that for the moment. And we're going to be back at 9 o'clock. And we're going to continue with these trends. Ankit is going to talk us through the important flip seats. I think that's something that we need to look at. What exactly defines a flip seat? And a lot more. That's coming up. Do stay tuned. The Congress coming out trumps as far as these elections are concerned, 137 to 65. And again, the way I started this part of our programming, it probably means stability for people in Karnataka. That is so very critical.